Welcome to today's deep dive. We have, a pretty highly technical mission for you today. We're looking closely at a spec sheet from HDTV Supply. It's for a device called the Just Add Power MC-TX2 4K 60 transmitter. Our goal is to figure out what this hardware actually does and, why it's so powerful for modern AV setups. We want to keep the focus on practical applications, not just read a list of jargon.
Yeah, it is definitely a dense document. But if you're used to traditional HDVAC setups, this really outlines a piece of equipment that is fundamentally changing how you route video and audio across complex environments.
Right, so let's start with the video capabilities. Looking at these specs, handling 4K resolution at 60 Hz with HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision, that is a massive amount of visual data. It also mentions 36-bit color depth. What does that actually mean for the viewer?
Practically speaking, 36-bit color depth means the system can display billions of color variations. So instead of seeing those blocky gradients or, banding in a sunset or a dark room on screen, you get perfectly smooth transitions. The picture quality is just pristine. But the real trick here isn't just processing those formats, it's how the device actually moves that data. It distributes this massive signal over a standard 1 gigabit managed network using existing Cat5e Ethernet cable, or even fiber.
Wait, this is where I need some clarification. Routing uncompressed 4K video at 60 Hz usually requires a really high bandwidth, dedicated HDMI cable. It's like successfully piping a massive fire hose of pristine Ultra HD video through an everyday garden hose network. How is it fitting all that heavy data down a standard gigabit network pipe without just choking the system?
That's the core innovation right there. By leveraging standard managed network switches, which essentially act as smart traffic cops for your data, the transmitter takes that heavy 4K signal and applies advanced, visually lossless compression. It packages the video efficiently and basically treats it like standard network data. You get the absolute highest quality video from point A to point B without needing proprietary, hyper-expensive cables.
Okay, so we figured out how to push Ultra HD video to the screen over standard Ethernet. But what happens to the audio generated by the TV itself? Like if you're using a built-in smart app directly on the display?
That is a great question. And it's where audio return channel, or ARC, comes into play.
Historically, getting audio from a TV's internal apps back to your main system was just a huge headache. You'd have to physically run a separate dedicated audio cable from the TV all the way back to your central equipment rack.
Which is a complete nightmare if your TV is mounted, say, 100 feet away in a massive sports bar. Exactly. ARC solves that by allowing you to take that audio and send it backward across the same Ethernet network to a remote amplifier or a different receiver. It eliminates all the messy wiring and gives you the freedom to put your audio equipment wherever it makes the most sense for the project design.
Wow, that is incredibly flexible. Now, the spec sheet also highlights image pull and KVM support. Image pull gives you a preview of the video feed from any source in a web browser at up to 30 frames per second. That seems incredibly useful for managing multiple screens. But with KVM, which stands for keyboard, video, and mouse, I do have a concern. If we were running control signals over a standard gigabit network alongside that compressed 4K video, aren't we going to run into latency issues? No one wants a laggy mouse.
It is a completely valid concern. However, because the system utilizes that managed network switch we talked about, it can intelligently prioritize data packets. The switch ensures the KVM control signals don't get bottlenecked by the heavy video feed. This built-in support for a keyboard, a touchscreen, and even a webcam interface completely transforms the transmitter. It goes from being a simple video distribution box to a complete remote access powerhouse. You have seamless real-time access to all the computers on the system right through this device.
So looking at the whole package, why should the listener, an AV professional, or even an ambitious homeowner really care about this specific unit?
Ultimately, whether you are wiring a massive sports bar, which is actually a frequent customer profile HDTV Supply sees for this hardware, or you are future-proofing a complex home theater, this transmitter is all about maximizing quality while radically simplifying the physical infrastructure. It gives you the best possible picture and sound, routed easily and reliably using standard network cables you might already have in the walls.
It really makes you think about where AV design is heading. If we can now flawlessly route ultra-heavy 4K HDR video and audio over a standard internet network using devices like this, how long will it be until the traditional direct connect HDMI cables become completely obsolete in our homes? Something for you to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.